do your homework. Find out what public lands in Harney County, including the refuge, provide, and be prepared. This is, most of our visitors come from more urban areas, and there are not a lot of services out in these rural areas, and so be prepared to deal with flat tires if you're driving the auto tour route or other gravel roads in Harney Basin. Be prepared with plenty of water, sunscreen, insect repellent. Find out where you can and can't go on the refuge. There are certain areas that are closed to protect wildlife habitat and prevent disturbance to wildlife, and which is our primary our program here. Find out which areas you can access legally on the refuge, and learn to enjoy what Malheur has to offer from those areas.
Because it is a wildlife refuge, there are closed areas and open areas to the public, and I would just say please be respectful on the places that are closed. They're there for reasons, and it's because either we have certain studies that are going on, there are probably ground nesters or waterfowl or any kind of sort of wildlife that are utilizing the area and the refuge. So the last thing you want to do is accidentally go in an area you're not supposed to be and end up disturbing them. And water. Please bring water. It is hot out here.
Plan to have plenty of time to see things.
Make sure you bring your coat, or make sure you bring your bug spray. And those two are the main things that I always am telling them, because we do get lots of mosquitoes, but we also get really cold weather. However, I always make sure that they realize that it's a beautiful place at any season.
Be very fire wise this time of year. If you're coming in the summer months, it's easier than you think to start a fire with your vehicle. Stay on the main roads. Appreciate nature for what it is, and leave it how you found it.
Pack it in, pack it out is probably the biggest thing I see and I have been on fires in all sorts of random places and found trash and littering, and that's probably the biggest thing, is make sure you have a plan to get all your stuff out that you bring in.
Just drive slow, take it all in. Slower you drive, the more times you stop, the more stuff you're going to see. If you just kind of come to the refuge, you can drive through it at 40 miles per hour and you're like, that's a nice refuge. It's green. I saw some birds. But it's amazing how many more animals and bird species and interesting little creeks and tributaries and ponds are out there if you just take a little bit more time.
I would like the public to know that Malheur National Wildlife Refuge is largely a closed refuge for protecting breeding wildlife. We have a lot of really sensitive ground nesting birds and shrub nesting birds that most of the refuge is closed off to the public to protect their nests and to help them be more successful. And I think that's a really different concept when it comes to public lands for people. They don't always understand that refuges, their number one goal is not supporting people or recreations, but it's supporting wildlife populations. And so I think that's probably the number one thing.
Biggest advice for sure, I would definitely bring bug spray. The mosquitoes are pretty thick out here.
Mosquito repellent and sun spray would be a good one.
Bring mosquito repellent if you come in the spring.